Hey, a couple things I want to lay mention on. Okay, Tampon Tim Walls. I have an issue with him. I live in Minnesota, okay? Now, we have a big homeless problem. And there's no way to get around it. We gotta build them individual houses. Let's make them mobile. Let's make them on a platform. And the stations they can plug into, stagger them around. Do not put them in like a Chicago welfare thing, housing project. Don't put them in a big area. Then you're going to have big problems then. Stagger them out. And if they misbehave, say the only place you could charge your house is this. You know, we're going to have to start putting our foot down because you just can't sleep on a sidewalk or do drugs underneath a bridge. That's why the only good thing about digital currency is we're going to put an end to that shit. But you're still going to see them convenient stuff. And then they're intense. Now, this is my logical thinking. If we housed them all for like a $5,000 little portable home that's insulated, that, you know, it's mobile and they can use like an e-bike to move it and stuff. Well, my thinking is we're going to save more money than some guy sleeping outside on a sidewalk or a tent or whatever. And he ran out of propane and all that crap. We don't need that. We need to just eliminate homeless. And to do that is offer free housing. And if they don't want the free housing and stuff, just, okay, we'll put you in a free housing, but it's going to be a jail sentence. And just jail them. You know? Stop crapping on their sidewalks. Stop, you know, leaving hypodermic needles everywhere and stuff. If you have the house, then take it. You know, and if you don't like where you move, then move it. But don't put up with this bull crap that you have reign over the city streets and all that. You can sleep where you want and stuff. No. That's where a stiff penalty of law belongs. So that's the, and then this Omar guy in Minneapolis that's running, I don't like his answer. I don't trust Somalians when it comes to government because they're just so corrupt. Seriously, they're all just robbing. They think, oh, I'm in office, so I'm allowed to steal. That's the way they are in the country, too. They're, you know, Somali pirates. That's what they are. So, and there's some good ones. They're not going to go try to steal from you, but when they do, they're big. They're going after millions and millions, and they will rob us blind with social programs. And I know a lot of those daycare centers, they'll sit there and they'll say, oh, I'm taking care of 6 kids, and then they'll collect the check from the mother. She endorses it, and then all that stuff, the kids weren't even in the building. And then they got their centers all newspapered up, which that's another thing I don't like. You know, at least see silhouettes in there or whatever of, you know, like a frosted window, but not that crap where it's completely blocked. Now there's fraud going on because they don't have the right amount of people in there, but you can't count because you can't see. But put frosted windows in, not frosted, but something where you can see a silhouette and you can count the bodies. And that's one thing. And they do that with adult daycare too. They might say, okay, oh man, you know, you're gonna say you were in our building, but we'll split the check with you. That's so much fraud. And the PCA game, I've known them that own PCAs and all that. But anyways, I want to drop that. But do not vote for that Omar guy. Vote for someone that gives good explanations on how they're going to do it and everything. You want down to the bare minimum, like, how are you going to end the homeless? Oh, I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to do it that. I'm going to, I don't like the idea of plotting land, you know, but let's say that they said that. We're plotting land, and we're going to individually put them there. Well, that's an explanation on how you get it done. Omar doesn't have any explanations. I heard that little rat-looking thing with the fangs coming out of his mouth. Reminds me of a vampire. What's that called? I'm trying to drive here. But anyways, and this is Tampon Timmy's. I know that wasn't true about Tampon Timmy, but it's funny, so I use it for my comedy. So but anyways, it is funny just to say that. And people are actually believing it. And the more I'm running these things, the more they're believing it. So that's good. See, this is where people begging. And then they built this fence underneath the bridge right there. It's a real nice fence. Spent a lot of money on that. You could have made 3 houses on a mobile platform with running water and phones and a little solar and all that. Maybe we could redevelop to like a thin film solar panel, like inject 2 gas and molecules and all that, and then these things can generate themselves. But you can't convene them next to each other. They have to be so far away. Now look at this. Now this bridge, watch. All the druggies do. Hey, Tim Walz, do something about this. It's over here off of we're on 17th Ave. All these druggies are doing meth and that crack whore right there. And then this is what the city's doing here. Now they have this police thing over here monitoring the situation. What? There's nobody here. Dum-dums. Who the freaking brilliant idea is that? And then they fence this off. So they kind of, it's real stupid. Wouldn't you put a police camera in front of them? And wouldn't you fence them all off? Or would you just leave them one for them to hang out on? And then you're letting them sleep in tents on the side. There's one. Come on, Tampon Timmy. Let's get it together. Hold on, nothing. Paint dries faster than your reaction, I'll tell you that much. You came out with nothing. Hold on, I just seen an ambulance. I'm going to cut this video short because I don't want to, get arrested and stuff. Wow. Hopefully they're okay. And that's one thing, and I've done this before. I see bums sleeping on the floor, and I'll call 911. And then I just count how many people show up. Now, first the officer shows up. And then a crew of like 6 people show up. I'm not joking. And then a fire truck shows up. And then all this stuff. And then they're billing the city when the one person would have been fine. They would have figured it out. And they may have figured it out, but they just sent them anyways because they're billing the city. This is such a corrupt system. I want to see AI take over this garbage. And I want to see a phone, an app that we could control the government. And we don't need thieves like Nancy Pelosi, that street prostitute, for stocks. Glad Minnesota passed the weed law. Now it's legal. I don't know about driving and stuff, but it's legal to have, legal to smoke, and we don't have to run around like a bunch of hoes. In this place, look, this liquor place, here, this is Tampon Timmy's area too. He loves Lake Street. That's where all the trannies are. Hold on. Let me show you. Just drove a curve. I hate that curve. See, this is a liquor store right here. And all the homeless hang out. Doing drugs and all that stuff. When you're at a liquor store, are you going to hang out just to hang out in front? Seriously. Go get a life. Go home to your house. That's when I believe the cops could say, you know, move along when you're convening like that outside of a liquor store. But like if you were doing that in another place, that would be okay. But not liquor stores. You can't group in a parking lot where a liquor store, you have to be like a block away, say, from doing that. If you're all standing out there in front of a liquor store, you gotta go. That's where Tampon Timmy should be doing shit like that, but he has no balls. That's his issues. He just has those tampons up his rectum.